The moment I stepped out of school, I plunged into the workforce, meticulously saving every cent earned. This discipline, theoretically, catapulted me into the multi-millionaire status, painting my life with the colors of opulence I had fantasized about. However, this narrative is not just a mirage, but an unattainable illusion. The unsettling reality is, an alarming number of aspiring wealthy individuals are ensnared in the illusion of the money-saving paradigm. Why is this the case? It's a narrative tailored and served on a silver platter, designed to entrap you in an incessant cycle of insufficiency, compelling you to labor in a job devoid of passion until the graying twilight, years when retirement becomes a silent echo of liberation. Escaping this intricate web is imperative for wealth acquisition, yet it is an endeavor laced with complexity. I'm not a harbinger of disillusionment when I articulate the near impossibility of ascending to the millionaire pinnacle solely through savings, especially in the bloom of youth. On the contrary, my intention is to inject urgency, spurring you to expedite your journey to affluence, harnessing the vibrancy and exuberance of youth. For the keen aspirants yearning for wealth, attune your senses, for in the subsequent discourse lies the unwinding path to financial liberation, unveiled and demystified. Part 1. Your money isn't real. How would you feel living in a world where unseen forces dictate every choice you make, orchestrating your life as if you were a mere puppet in a grand performance? It's a troubling thought, isn't it? Sadly, this analogy isn't far from the truth. For a long time, establishments such as banks and governments have capitalized on the lack of financial education among the masses. It's not entirely the people's fault. Our educational system rarely touches upon essential money management skills. While saving money might offer a facade of autonomy, banks are quietly reaping significant profits in the background. Allow me to clarify. Once upon a time, you could actually go to a bank, present your cash, and ask to exchange it for gold. The rationale behind this was that carrying large gold bars to purchase goods and services was impractical. Thus, paper money was introduced, which was anchored to the gold standard. However, this system ended in 1933. Since then, the US dollar, like many other currencies, transitioned to being fiat money. The bills in your pocket are examples of fiat currency, essentially a government-backed form of money without ties to any tangible asset. Essentially, its value exists because the government decrees it, allowing them greater influence over the economy by controlling its production rate. The money that many pursue and accumulate can be compared to the currency in Monopoly. It's valuable only because the rules of the game give it value. To add insult to injury, banks provide a storage service for our money, offering a paltry 0.5% interest, while leveraging our funds to rake in significant profits. It's well known that the banking industry is among the most affluent, but it wasn't always so. Originally, banks simply safeguarded our funds and earned a reasonable profit. Over time, however, they've sought innovative methods to leverage our savings for their benefit. The sale of subprime mortgages, which contributed to the 2008 financial meltdown, is a case in point. I'm not suggesting banks are inherently malevolent, but they, like many businesses, prioritize their interests. Thus, entrusting them blindly with our well-being is a risk. Several wealthy individuals, including Robert Kiyosaki, the writer of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, promote the idea of keeping what they term as God's money, essentially referring to gold and silver. They believe these metals possess intrinsic value, unlike the theoretical value of fiat currencies. Personally, I believe this approach suits the affluent as it acts as a safeguard for their assets. However, by choosing this method, you're prioritizing safety over potential returns, which may not be the ideal choice for everyone, especially the younger generation who can tolerate more risk. Being in my 20s, I don't have a substantial amount in gold. My interests lean more towards other forms of assets, which I'll discuss shortly. Part 2. Your money is disappearing. Consider the following scenario. Suppose you had $110,000 in savings, accumulating interest at a rate of 0.5% annually, which is notably higher than the average over the past 5 years. Imagine sealing yourself in a cryogenic chamber for a millennium. Upon awakening, your account would reflect almost $1.5 million. Impressive, right? Actually, not so much. Despite the time that money had to grow, it would have lost purchasing power at a rate of 1.5% every year. So, in reality, that $1.5 million would be worth less than your initial $110,000 in today's terms. Of course, the situation I'm describing is hypothetical. However, the core message remains the same. When you let your money sit in a bank, it's gradually losing its value due to inflation each year. Back then, $1 could get you a movie ticket, popcorn, and some chips. Today, it barely covers the cost of a Tango Ice Blast slushie, whatever that might be. As today, the inflation rate in the USA stands at 3.67%. However, the actual rate might be even higher. The methods used to calculate inflation can be misleading, but that's a topic for another time. The main point is that the purchasing power of your money is constantly dwindling. Why does this happen, and why can't we just stop it? First, we have what's known as demand pull inflation. Take the car scarcity during the pandemic as an example. It led to a spike in demand for used cars, which in turn drove up prices. Then, we have cost push inflation. Inflation occurs when the amount of money circulating grows faster than product production. Put simply, it happens when there's too much money chasing too few goods, much like the massive sums of money injected into the economy during lockdown. Therefore, it's evident that your savings face threats from multiple angles. Part 3. Spending isn't the answer. We live in a consumer-driven world where we've been conditioned to follow certain behaviors. Throughout your life, influences from parents, peers, and educators might have led you to make choices that aren't truly in line with your desires. In a nod to Morpheus's offer to Neo in The Matrix, I give you two choices. Take the blue pill, and you continue to believe whatever you want. Choose the red pill, and you'll delve into the reality behind the curtain. Assuming you're after the truth, recognize that when you view money not just as a means to spend but as a tool to grow your wealth, you open doors to achieving all you desire. While it's crucial to have an emergency fund that covers 3 to 5 months of expenses, it shouldn't be tapped for spontaneous luxuries like a Caribbean vacation. Part 4. How to win against the odds. Historically, markets have yielded an average annual return of 8 to 10%. This has worked well for many. Though nothing is guaranteed, data from the past century suggests a stable trend, which aligns with my own experience. Using an investment app to buy a crypto fund for long-term holding seems easy. But there are important factors to remember before investing. The primary factor is the need for transparent, low costs, and no fees when purchasing crypto. A 1% fee on every purchase can erode your returns significantly. Another key aspect is the availability of money market funds. Typically, these offer better interest rates than savings accounts without the high risks of stocks. These funds invest in top-tier, short-term debts from governments, banks, or corporations. They're beneficial because you can withdraw easily, and the interest, often called the yield, is added to your account monthly. However, unlike FSCS-protected savings accounts, money market funds aren't insured and might lose value. Note, this video contains financial promotions, and I receive a commission from the affiliated link, which supports this channel. Part 5. Act today. Many people see a large savings balance as security. Some even take pleasure in seeing those big numbers in their account. Yet, they often miss the concept of opportunity cost. Haven't you watched others grow their wealth and wondered when your financial breakthrough would come? Think about those who've let their funds stagnate in savings accounts over recent years, too scared to step into perceived risky financial waters. Ironically, the biggest risk often is not taking any risk at all, missing out on potentially substantial gains from volatile but potentially profitable areas like crypto and the stock market. Some believe Tesla shares are currently overvalued, waiting for a price drop before investing. But stock markets are fickle. For example, from August to October 2021, Tesla's stock price jumped from $700 to nearly $900, indicating a potential 35% loss from waiting. If $700 seemed too high, remember, you didn't need to buy a full share. A mere $100 investment could have grown by $35. For context, the average savings account interest rate is a tiny 0.06%. Banks typically use your deposits to invest or loan at much higher returns. Understand that money has diverse roles for emergencies, enjoyment, and investment. So there's no need to have it all immediately accessible. Ultimately, money is a tool. It shouldn't be hoarded but utilized. I believe in actively using money, not letting it stagnate. Often, the most significant risk is staying stuck in your current position. After all, you can't score if you never take a shot. I've set up the next video for you, but pause a second before hitting play. If you're keen on growing your wealth, smash that subscribe button. See you in the next one.